Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, which means it is a moment of hope with Upward Transitions. This morning, I am so grateful to be joined by Angie Doss of Sunbeam Family Services. Did I get that right, Angie?
You sure did, yes.
I'm still learning, so I just want to make sure I get everybody's name correct. So I am so glad that you are with us. Tell us a little about Sunbeam and about you. And I know Sunbeam has a lot of programs. And this morning, we kind of wanted to highlight your senior shelter. You guys have been a partner of Upward for a long time. So tell us more about the shelter.
Of course. So our senior shelter is the only one in the state that specifically helps seniors who are experiencing homelessness. It helps them provide resources and also transition into permanent housing. We were one of the first shelters actually in the nation. And what we really want to do is support our seniors. And we're very thankful because our partnership with Upward Transitions, we're able to get some of the resources and identification that the seniors may not have. So that's think of an ID card, social security card, even assistance with utilities. That comes through our partnership. How someone comes actually to our senior shelter is through a referral. And so I know referrals come from Upward Transitions, from Homeless Alliance, from many of our community partners that identify when there's a senior 60 and over who really needs to come to our senior shelter. And one of the reasons that we really have the senior shelter and separate seniors experiencing homelessness is for a variety of reasons. There's one gentleman who was at the shelter with us for a while, and he shared that when he went to a general shelter, he had a bunk bed and he was on the top. And so every time he had to use the restroom, which was a few times during the night, he would have to put everything in his pockets and climb down this ladder. And, for him, it was really hard to climb up and down a ladder. Right. There's also some concern over medication, for example. We do dispense medication here for seniors, but there's a variety of reasons that maybe a senior shelter specifically in mind for those who are 60 and over is really a great idea to help them find that permanency and also connect them with resources.
That's so wonderful. You just think about, the nuance and the specific needs for those in that category. And that's just so wonderful that you offer that. And I know our partnerships had definitely been so beneficial to those that we serve in that category as we encounter those that are experiencing homelessness, and we can work together to help those, get shelter. During COVID, I know that if you're anything like us, our work has changed a little bit. Our doors never closed, and I know your doors never did either. So tell me a little bit about how you use different tools, or maybe did your work a little bit differently. I know we got creative. So how did you guys get creative over at Sunbeam to help your clients?
Well, absolutely. Just like you, we provide essential services to the community. And you're right, we didn't officially close our doors to our services. We kept them going throughout the entire beginning of COVID. They're still going. So for our senior shelter, because it is a very specific population, typically we can serve 11 seniors at a time for about 30-day stay. But we did limit the number of seniors in our shelter in order to support, effective quarantine measures and following CDC guidelines. And so we do that at our shelter. We also implemented many safety and well-being protocols for the shelter during this time. Something that we also thought about is, at Sunbeam, we also have mental health services. And if you've been reading what's happening in the news or even on social feed, you can see that there is an increased need for mental health services. And so we thought of, how could we really connect seniors experiencing homelessness in our shelter who might be in quarantine or, might feel more comfortable in their room with services. And so we did provide a laptop, and so they can,
wow.
Yeah, so we were so lucky because there were so many grantors who provided COVID-19 funding for nonprofits. I'm thinking United Way, I'm thinking our Nala Family Foundation. I mean, they have really, so many funders have stepped up to help us nonprofits during this time and our clients and community. And so we had the resources to purchase some technology to support seniors while they were in the shelter. So that does include mental health telehealth services with like a Sunbeam mental health professional. It includes, resources online so they could keep looking for permanent housing and work together with our case managers. So that's one way I think we sort of pivoted during the pandemic, is to really talk about technology. And there definitely is some learning there, as is with everyone, during this time. But leveraging technology during this time, I think, is one of the ways that we've pivoted to continue providing these essential services.
Well, and I don't know about you all, but some of the things that we have learned from that is we might keep some of those things that we've learned. We created some web portals and some other things, and that were very beneficial and created some access. And so that's the conversation that we're having now, is that, if this opens a door of access, then let's talk about how we can keep that door open going forward. And so making sure that everybody has access in the way that they can need it. And so, it's been interesting that was the learning. It kind of the creative ways of COVID kind of pushed us into kind of a new adventure, but we learned some things, and we also gained some things that I think we might keep. So I don't know if you guys discovered the same things.
I think across our organization, that's definitely something we're seeing. For example, not our senior shelter, but our grandparents raising grandchildren program. Oklahoma is consistently one of the top states in the nation for grandparents raising their grandchildren. And we provide support groups and resources for our grandfamilies, but these have been in person. And so we also pivoted, just like we did for our mental health services, is providing these support groups online. And we actually got to meet some new grandfamilies that otherwise, it's hard for them perhaps to come to an in-person meeting because of transportation and childcare. But now, because of Zoom, they're able to connect with us in a new level. And so I think that's a perfect example of some of the technology we've leveraged, and really thinking about how we can outreach to different audiences that we support and find new ways to continue supporting them. So I think the Grandparents Raising Grandchildren online support group is a perfect example of that.
Yep. So do you have a story from your work with the senior shelter over the last few months, that has just been, kind of an example of just wonderful work that you guys do?
Yes, absolutely. So there's one story that comes to mind, because people are homeless for different reasons. And so our wonderful case managers, work with all of the clients to really figure out, what is the root of the homelessness and what resources can we provide. And whether it's mental health services, or it's just like connecting with upward transitions, you need an ID to really start looking for new housing. And so there's one woman in particular I'm thinking about, where she shared with our case manager at the time, Kim, that her Social Security benefit card was not working and had not worked for 2 years. And so, this woman had also been assisted by other nonprofits in the past. And she, shared that it wasn't working, and, it's on hold. And so Kim was like, well, that sounds a little interesting. Let's look into that and figure out, is it on hold? Why is it on hold? And so she actually did not have an ID. So we were able to partner with Upward Transitions to get her an ID and some identification that she needed, which was wonderful, part of that first step. And then Kim actually went down with her to the Social Security benefits office. And so they met with someone, and she shared the story that, her card hasn't worked for 2 years. And so come to find out that the card doesn't work because the card itself is expired, but she was still receiving benefits to an account.
Bless her.
Yes. And the number that they said she had was about $20,000 over the last several years, and benefits available to her. Yes. And so, that really is, I think, a case manager, or, going above and beyond to really figure out, why is this resident homeless, and how can we help them? And so, to me, that is one where it's, if she hadn't have gone down there to the office with her, would we know that she still had, money coming to her, but just the card was expired? And sometimes it's as simple as that, and asking the right questions. So that to me is one that really,
Yeah.
yeah. And she's doing great. So we also follow up with our clients after they leave the shelter to check in with them and make sure they're doing okay and if they need any resources. And so that to me is a real success story because it was something, a simple solution. Yeah.
Yeah. What a good partnership and what a good outcome. That's fantastic. Oh, yay. Oh, isn't it funny how and we tell those stories all the time. It's funny how much we take those things for granted. The identification, our driver's license, our social security cards, a working debit card for Pete's sake. We take all of those things for granted, and we take the knowledge to go through the steps to get them working or get them in the first place. We take all of that for granted, that we know how to do that. We know how to navigate the system. We know how to fill out the paperwork. That in some ways is privilege. And so, we are just so grateful and honored that we can intervene on behalf of our clients to help them navigate systems that they don't know and aren't familiar with. And that story just makes me so happy. Like, yes, it's just as simple as that. Let's do this.
I think navigating simple or systems is a good way to sort of phrase that, because I do think that, when people take the time to, really connect with you and figure out how can we help you, and maybe ask some questions and dig a little bit deeper. I feel like at our shelter, that's really what happens, is that we get to know people and their stories and really figure out the why and how to help them. And so I think you're exactly right when you say that, because, I just think about people I know who maybe are would qualify to be at our shelter in terms of age. And, we've all learned technology over the last few months, but there still are some hiccups that, if you don't know really how to navigate technology, that could be a problem, because there's so many forms that have to be filled out online and so many resources that are online. You need that personal connection. It's almost like a concierge. I know it's case management, but it kind of seems to be like concierge customer service is what maybe I would say it is.
Yeah. And it's just, it's just so amazing that those small things that we consider small things become huge things in other people's lives. And I love watching that open up so many more opportunities for others. $20,000, good gracious.
I know it was, I think there were a lot of tears shed, like happy tears, once we found out that was the amount, because it really did help kind of solve, why she was in need of services at our shelter.
Oh goodness, we talk about access to resources. Good gracious. Like, yes.
Yes, it was a good day, I have to say.
Fantastic. So we at Upward Transitions, we have been so grateful to Sunbeam, especially over the last few months, for your partnership. You guys stepped in and helped us with some help with case management and other things, but you guys have been a longtime partner of ours, and so we are grateful to you for what you do in the community and what you do for us as a partner. And so we for you all the time. But if you were going to tell somebody about Sunbeam that never had heard about Sunbeam before, what's the one thing that you wish they knew?
I think it's that since 1907, we've helped children, families, and seniors learn, grow, and thrive. So I guess that's more of a one sentence than a one thing. But through our services, we really support the community, whether it's helping toddlers and helping infants get the early childhood education they need to really thrive, not only in an educational setting, but also in life, all the way to helping our seniors who are experiencing homelessness, grandparents raising grandchildren. We provide mental health services. And right now, again, there are telehealth. So we're meeting people where they are and really finding great ways to support them. We also do foster care. And so we have been a foster care agency for a very long time. And we provide supportive services to children who are in DHS custody. And we're also a very inclusive foster care agency. And so in terms of inviting foster families who look different, who look the same, like every type of foster family is a foster family at Sunbeam. And so we open our doors and we encourage the community to open their hearts and homes in support.
I love that. I love that about you all. So much.
I mean, and we love it. So it's good.
That's the way the world should be. I love it so much. Welcoming families of all of their varieties. I love it.
Yes,
I love it so
exactly.
So I love that you're down the street from us. I love that you are a partner of ours, and I'm so grateful for the work that you do in the community. I'm going to tell that $20,000 story to somebody else today. Thanks for sharing it with us. Thanks for taking the time to be a part of our moment of hope today, Angie.
Well, thank you so much for inviting us. And again, thank you for your partnership, because really, that moment of hope that you're going to share later today, that probably wouldn't happen if she didn't have her identification. And so, as we talk about partnership between our organizations, we're both United Way partners, proud United Way partners. And there are so many other nonprofits that I know that both of our agencies partner with, because it really is a collaborative effort to support our community. So thank you all for what you do and for having us on too.
That's right. Our mantra is we can't do it by ourselves. That's right.
Yes.
All right. Have a great. That's right. Better together. That's right. Well, have a wonderful day, everybody, and find a little hope in something you do. Bye.